Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking Elsbeth, Season 3, Episode 9, Glamazons. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, the woman who has coined the term nerdazon, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. You good?
I'm good.
I'm a proud nerdazon.
Yeah, listen, I could be a male version of a nerdazon.
Yeah. What would that be? Like a nerd, a nerd dude, like
a nerdonis.
Oh yeah, nerdonis. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're good here. Almost halfway through the season 3 of Elsbeth. Here we
are. We're counting.
Not like we're not counting. We're not counting, Marissa. Okay. So yeah, we're here, episode 9. Another Elsbeth episode, much like a lot of the other Elsbeth episodes. I will say I liked the murderer in this episode. I think it's interesting when I can feel for some of the murderers. Like I can feel their plight. It's not really like someone that is out for greed or someone that's out for this. Something was definitely like done dirty to this person, and they exacted their revenge. I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm okay with it. I think
they were a revenge-a-zon.
Oh, revenge-a-zon. I like that. That's good. That's real good. Before we dive deep into the episode, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can help this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, subscribing, wherever it is you are watching or listening to this podcast. We greatly appreciate it because it does help us get into the eyes and ears of more people. It helps us dive into the algorithms and get and work our way into people's eyes and ears. You can also, if you want to just chat with us about the show, you can always email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if you would like to help us monetarily, you can also do that by going to buymeacoffee.com/goodpod and donating any sums, small or large. We greatly appreciate it, as we are a independent, not-for-profit podcast. Please consider donating to your local podcasters today.
Yes.
So with all that out of the way, Marissa, let's get into the episode.
All right. As you mentioned, Jason, this episode is titled Glamazons. Before we dig into it a little bit, do you remember the 90s model palooza of
very vaguely? I mean, yeah. Marissa, you are much older than I am.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so right. You probably have a better memory of it than me. You know, I was a wee boy in the 90s. So you know, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, someone as young as me probably wouldn't remember as much. It's you know, besides seeing some covers in some you know, some grocery stores. You probably have a better memory of it because you were much older than I.
Ninja Turtles at all either.
I mean, I do. That was more catered to my age group, right? You know, I was so young, I didn't even like realize what like women were, what like models were, right? Like I was focused on like did I know who April O'Neil was?
I know you did.
You're damn right I did. Is that yellow April O'Neil jumpsuit like ingrained in my brain? Yeah, from a young lad for sure. But I don't know if I was paying too much attention to the supermodel world.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing for me, being a young woman-ish in the 90s. Like I was born in the late 80s, so I was definitely like in the double digits of my life in the 90s. And so very impressionable, you know, like give me the 17 magazine, give me all of that stuff so that I could be cool, even though I'm not 17, like all that stuff. So for me, when I look back at this era, it is definitely like, oh my God, I need to be skinnier and I need to walk funny and I need to have a lot of makeup on, you know, like that's kind of where but these were really big personalities, and these women like shaped fashion and like culture. It was like we didn't have Instagram. Like there were no Kardashians, there were no influencers. These were the influencers who would go into a magazine and say like, in my purse I keep blah blah blah, or before a show I use this hairspray or something like that. And that would be the influencing of the time.
So the Glamazons that we meet here, who do we think their like real world like counterparts were?
I tried to do some research to see if there were any direct like call outs, but there are people like Cindy Crawford. Who else? There was,
it's like a Kate Moss thing.
Yeah, there was Kate Moss. There's a lot of other people too. Like Tyra Banks was considered one as well.
Okay.
Like the people who are like known for modeling, like
yeah, I
those.
get it. Like, I think model house is definitely like a thing that would be a
Yes,
thing.
yes.
But yeah, I don't know if that was like in the 90s, if that was a thing or not. I don't know if like.
I mean, I don't know either. I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, because looking at that with the 2025 lens is a little creepy for me.
Well, I mean,
Like,
but I think the quote unquote houses have kind of had a resurgence, as like you hear about things like
TikTok houses.
TikTok like hype houses, where
Yeah.
like all these
Yeah.
influencers all get together and shoot content and all these things. So I think it's actually a little more. It's had a resurgence in the last like probably 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
Than it was in the early aughts, right? So I think it's a weirdly making a comeback, and it's probably as toxic, if not more toxic, than it probably was back in the 90s. I mean, especially since there's a bigger lens on it, as there is like there's content being shot there all the time. I'm sure in model houses you didn't have someone live streaming 24/7 all the
Right.
nonsense and drama. So I think
Right.
even now it's probably even more of a crazy thing. And probably even more hyped up for like content than anything else. Like,
Yes.
it's not just drama in a model house was probably a lot more natural and real than drama and content done in these hype houses.
It's like America's Next Top Model, like all the time.
Yeah.
Just to forgive my brain fart from earlier before, some other popular names of the era were like Claudia Schiffer, Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks, Helena Christensen, Christy Turlington. Yeah.
What's her name? Dickinson? Something Dickinson? Angie Dickinson?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's all those names you said. Like, oh, ring a bell. Probably, heard about later in my life because
Oh,
like
of course, yeah. Obviously.
But yeah, I think these two women that were really highlighted here in three actually. You had Tiff, Madison, and Nadine, of course, who we had met previously.
Yeah.
Were all, and they just kind of brushed to the side whoever this black woman was. Like, why the black lady can't get some love? I can't even meet this black. Like, we seen a black lady in the Glamazon's photo. She's like, I can't even meet her. I can't even know what her name was. Oh.
No, and then like the framing of like the new era was like this girl like escaped Somalia. It wasn't even like we couldn't have just like a black model. It had to be like some sort of charity case type of situation.
But I did love that though, because when they were introducing these people, they're like Nabria, who escaped war in South Sudan. What was the other girl's name?
Someone from Kiev, and then the ADHD.
I laughed at that part. And this is Harper. She's from New Jersey and she suffers from ADHD. Like, oh, all these women are dealing with so many things. I was like, I howled, and I was like, that's kind of funny because it just shows like the ridiculousness of like the dichotomy of like first and third world problems.
Yes.
So funny.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. Well, let's talk about how we get to meet these people. It is the 20th anniversary of the Glamazons shoot, which is apparently like a very famous shoot where they got all together, took a cover for a magazine, and it's been 25 years since that happened. And we are in a bar, I think in Pennsylvania somewhere, and we see Madison come in to talk to Tiff, who's behind the bar. And Madison is like, hey, it's time to bury the hatchet. Like, you should just come to the photo shoot. It's fine. Like, and we learn that Tiff is like, well, what about that night? Like, we don't really know what happened that night, but we see that Tiff is wearing a eye patch, and something happened that she is obviously holding some sort of grudge against Madison for. And just to pause for a moment, I did want to highlight the cameo that we have here. Tiff is being played by Jamie Presley.
Jamie Presley, who I think in the late 90s, like I'm talking like 1999 to early 2000s, I think really rose to prominence as like, how do I say that hot girl in all of the, teen movies, I guess.
Yeah.
There in that way. And so Jamie Presley was prominently featured in those types of movies to begin her career. And I think she really kind of like came back with a like I will always remember Jamie Presley from My Name Is Earl. I used to love that show.
Same.
And she was a great part of that show, and then she popped back up in the show Mom, which is another sitcom, which I also enjoyed. So yeah, I think she's more known for me for her like comedic chops rather than just kind of being the hot girl in these movies. So like that's what I more know Jane Presley from. I think she's a terrific actress. I thought she really brought it here in this episode of Elsbeth more than a lot of these other like bigger name guest stars you've had. I really enjoyed her portrayal here.
Yeah, agreed. Madison is like, yeah, it's time to like bury the hatchet. Just like, what about that night? Blah 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 blah. And basically, at the end of this, Madison's like, okay, well, you think about it. You come to New York, for the shoot. You think about it. I'm just gonna leave this bag of cash here.
Yeah,
and we also learned that like when Tiff offers Madison a drink, she's like, I've already had like a benzo today, so I can't have alcohol, which plays into the case later on.
Good on you, Madison, for being responsible with your drugs. But we do. I think the thing here is that like Tiff and Madison, we don't know much at this point in the beginning, but we know they have some sort of like rivalry, some sort of like begrudging, like frenemies, you could probably call it.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, like during the 90s, also because all of these women were writing like towards fame, we had not reached the women helping women era of our conversation as a society. It definitely was like women tearing down women, competing for other things. So this is very on par with like the model culture of the 90s, at least.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a prologue in the form of Julian, who we'll meet throughout the episode, kind of giving us a background of like, Tiff and Madison were fierce rivals in the modeling world, blah, 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 blah. Tiff had some kind of accident befall her. And it's interesting because when Madison and Tiff are talking in Tiff's bar, they've obviously not seen each other for a while. And Madison kind of lets something slip of like, oh, I felt so bad about what happened to you that morning.
Yeah.
This kind of tips Tiff ought to be like, what you mean that morning? Because nobody knew what happened to me until like later that day. So what do you mean? So this really gives Tiff an idea of like, maybe Madison has something more to do with what happened to me, which we'll learn. We don't really know what happens to Tiff until much later in the episode, but it's like maybe Madison has something more to do with what happened to me than we know. Or that Tiff knows. So this really good because Madison is visiting Tiff to visit her to invite her to the 25th anniversary photo shoot they're trying to do for the Glamazons, which I kind of like the Avengers of the modeling world, I guess it was considered as, which is funny because Tiff now has an eye patch like Nick Fury.
Yeah, and she and also
she tries to be Nick Fury later on in the episode. So that's funny. So I think this gives Tiff an idea of like, maybe I'll head it down to New York and see what's going down, and maybe I'll do some stuff on there.
Yeah, so she walks in and everyone's like, oh my God, it's Tiff. Tiff is here. This is so crazy. And we as an audience are like, oh my God, Nadine is here.
And
I just love how Nadine hangs out with all of these people.
Yeah, and it's funny how like the two people that have like popped up a lot in this series have come from like the same episode, because like it's Nadine and it's that older black gentleman that was like the main designer in that episode. And the older gentleman from the plastic surgery episode also is a doctor that pops up here and there. But Nadine Nadine has been kind of like the most constant cameo, and she really like when she comes in, she really like is involved in the story a little bit. So like I love when Laura Bonanti shows up here as Nadine, because it's so fun, because I think the genesis of the Nadine character kind of comes from her making fun of Melania Trump in the what was it, Colbert? Was she on Colbert?
Yeah, on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, so like it's funny that one character from that thing that she does is kind of like repopulated here as a different character, and she's constantly coming in to help Elsbeth out.
Yes. And this is where we're introduced to the women we were talking about earlier. Someone from Kyiv, someone from Somalia, and someone who's from New Jersey suffering ADHD. And these are like branded as like the new Glamazons, the sheroes. And they ask Nadine about her model office supply business. Not going great. And we're also introduced to Madison's husband, TJ. He's kind of their manager. He's kind of a creep. And we, like you had mentioned, Julian, who's like a reporter who's been like, apparently he coined the term glamazon. He is also at this party. He's like, this is a moment, it's here. But then he's also asking a lot of questions, and TJ does not like this.
No, TJ's doesn't like when Tiff's attack is talked about and what happened with Tiff's attack. And I guess Julian is the one that kind of like kicked off this whole thing with Tiff, because he's kind of responsible for Tiff being in the zeitgeist. But then TJ kicks Julian out. We see Tiff grabbing TJ's glass, and we're like, oh, what you about to do with that, Tiff? What you gonna do with that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think like she was okay with it, like you were saying, like she's not like okay with it, but she was like, oh, okay, here's an opportunity. I don't know if she went to this party thinking about doing what she ends up doing, but she definitely takes advantage of the situation.
Well, I definitely think I think she had this idea was birthed shortly after the bar.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, after the bar.
And to begin with, she's like, I'm gonna do this. This is the thing I'm gonna do, because she now realizes that like, oh, Madison has something to do with this. What's going on?
Well, the sheroes are headed off to the garbage vodka party, which just is so 2025. It's vodka made from garbage, which I was like, yes, this is what's happening.
Yeah, apparently this vodka is like promoted by David Attenborough, or like
his first vodka. I was like, and only, and I hope they like called David Attenborough before this and said, hey, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, the sheroes are over there. Tiff kind of sneaks back in the house and takes out and mixes Madison a drink that includes some of those benzos, and basically brings it up to her. Okay, so we've got kitchen down here, Madison standing up on a loft, drink transported up to the loft, and Tiff goes in for she basically, the second Madison has a sip of that drink, she's like, well, what about my accident? What about all this stuff? Basically confess. And Madison's like, it wasn't me, it was TJ. And she's like, basically, I don't care, I'm gonna push you off the ledge.
This was interesting, because I think we're used to seeing so many interesting ways of people being killed. This was so hardcore. She just like pushed her off the loft. We literally see Madison. This was like very visceral. We literally see Madison go like bounce her head off the pool table like cocoon and fall to her death. I was like, oh, that was kind of wild.
Yeah. This is also the first episode in a long time we actually see a body in a body bag in the next scene. And Elsbeth is on the scene, which again we haven't seen in a while because of the way that they've kind of played with the format from time to time. TJ is like super upset. He's like, the benzos helped her, like very distraught. He's like, I was in my man cave, I wasn't even here. The other models show up, and they were like, no one else is home because we were drinking the garbage vodka. And also assigned to this case besides Elsbeth is of course Buzz and Grace.
Yeah, Buzz and Grace, who I guess are now just like a permanent team. Like I don't know if we'll see one without the other go from here forward, because I think a few episodes ago was like the forming of their partnership and bond. They were able to like bond over whiteboards or something, or whatever it was,
office supplies, like analog office supplies, like making with index cards and everything. Yes, so Buzz automatically like recognizes Tiff too from the 90s, and Tiff here is like kind of prejudiced against the police because they didn't seem to help her out in her situation, which I don't really blame her. Later, Elsbeth is talking to the Glamazons, and Elsbeth talks about her haircut in the 90s. For a moment, she said, I had a pixie cut in law school and looked like Meg Ryan. I thought those were cute little ways, but I thought that there were, I would have loved to have seen a photo of that. You know what I mean? Like, it was fantastic. Yeah.
I loved how I was talking about her Tamagotchi. I was like, I can totally see Elsbeth like obsessing over a Tamagotchi.
I mean, I'm surprised she still doesn't have one, or she doesn't have a Lububu at the moment. Like, these are things that I think should definitely be a part.
Lububus and Tamagotchis aren't the same.
No, but it's like very trendy type of, and also like, who knows? She's lost Kaya. Who knows where Teddy is? You know what I mean? Like, just some sort of comfort, something.
Marissa, how many Tamagotchis did you go through
I didn't. I could not. For the life of me, I could not keep one alive.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure.
There's no way. I didn't even have one. My sister had one, and then it died. She also had Furbies, which scared the crap out of me. But then she just went to Neopets and lived on the computer downstairs, and I just was glad to not have to take care of any of that.
Yeah, I think the crazes in the 90s, I don't even think the crazes of today can touch the crazes of the 90s, right? Because the crazes of the 90s felt a lot more sustained. They were around for a lot more. The crazes of today are here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, think about a TikTok sound. Okay. We had 17 weeks of Bryan Adams singing the song from Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Like 17 weeks. That's how long that song lasted on the radio. And everybody loved it.
Yeah, Beanie Babies, Furbies, Trolls,
Pogs.
Pogs,
But I mean, like, Jason is obviously telling this from what he's read in books.
Yes,
because obviously, he's so young.
No, I was here for Pogs because Pogs, spoke to me as a child because they did the, you had Power Rangers Pogs, you had these Pogs. I had never learned how to play the game Pogs. I
still don't get Pogs. It. It was like make a tower and then knock them down with another thing. I don't know.
With a slammer, something with a jammer. I don't know what the heck we're talking about. But I'm like, I just loved having these circular things that had my favorite characters on them. That's all I cared about. So like, I was definitely a Pog collector back in I don't know, was I a collector? I wouldn't call it. I was not fervorish about it.
But connoisseur.
I was a connoisseur. Yeah, there you go. Connoisseur, a Pog connoisseur. And then we had some Power Rangers Pogs that really has my mind in a tizzy remembering Power Rangers Pogs. But yeah, these things were months long. These crazes were months and months and months long. Whereas now these things come and go real fast.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel really bad. If you're not around, the 90s really were a magical time, you guys. Like,
no joke.
I don't know. And moment of silence. So good.
R.I.P. to the moments of the 90s. R.I.P. to all the Tamagotchis that were killed and murdered.
R.I.P. to all of the Furbies that are living in attics because they wouldn't shut up.
Sorry to the Furbies in the landfills.
Yes. Yes. So on this case, we have Buzz, and Buzz is, of course, looking at this and is like, "This just seemed like a robbery. Like, this is how it is." Wagner comes in and just like randomly, he's been doing this in a lot of episodes. Like, here's some random piece of information. He knows TJ from his time of like covering the clubs, and you could tell when he was talking about this, like he had some good memory of covering the clubs,
busting some faces, busting people in the in the 90s of just Wagner being a really cocksure cop, just throwing him around all the time.
Yeah, we learned that they are tailing TJ to kind of see what's going on with him, but all the models are in the office, and Grace is a little, self-conscious about this, and Elsbeth says to her, like, "They may be stunning, but we can solve crimes." And Grace is like, "Yeah, that's right." Not saying that they couldn't solve crimes, but also,
yeah. I mean, Elsbeth, you solve it, right? Like, I know you're trying to be nice, Elsbeth, but you're the one that solves crimes.
What did you think of these?
Elsbeth is the one around here that solves crimes.
She is basically solving all of the crime in New York City.
All of the crimes, yes.
What did you think of the interviews?
I mean, they were fine. They were all vapid. Yeah. They were all themselves. They're all the stereotypical model types.
I felt so bad drinking the garbage vodka while Madison was falling to her death. Yeah.
And then the ADHD Jersey model is like, I was just having fun talking to all the sports people and hooking up with people at the party. I was like, all right, Harper, you suck.
We do learn that TG was standing over the body at the end of it, and he was staying home in his man cave, kind of keeping secrets. This is what we learned from the models. So Elsbeth goes to talk to Nadine. First of all, again, this was kind of the scene, particularly for me, was kind of a production standout for me because it was like, we're just going to use a street in New York. We're not going to have a conversation somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it was, it seems like they would have met somewhere for coffee or something in the past, but this is definitely like a walk and talk type of thing. They have a conversation. Nadine was on the yacht making out with DJs. Elsbeth talks about the model house, and this is like it's so hard for me looking at this through the eyes of 2025 and also some files that may have been around.
Yeah.
And how groups of young women are in a house doing a thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's that was kind of hard for me, but we learned that TJ's a promoter and gets paid by the party planners for access to the model. Also, little.
I wonder if I ever took any planes, with those models.
Or if there was like an island.
Yeah,
not just like a house, but like a model island.
Just randomly.
Oh, it's rough. But Nadine says that TJ Madison.
Nadine, have you been questioned? have you been brought in?
She doesn't think TJ did it though. She's like, Clyde. She does establish that like TJ and Madison are like a tight team, but she's like, Clyde wouldn't shoot Bonnie. Basically, like they're in it together.
TJ, by the way, who I was like, who is this guy? Like, I know I've seen this guy 1,000 places. TJ, I was like, I looked him up on IMDb and I was like, okay, all right, nothing major, nothing like crazy. Okay, he's done a couple things. And then I get down all the way to 2005, 2006, and this man, Josh Casabon, was on One Life to Live. And I was like, there we go. There he is. Like that, and that's my sweet spot. Like late 90s, early 2000s. That's when I was like,
I mean,
into the scene.
You weren't paying attention to glamazons, but you were definitely watching soap operas.
That's right.
Thanks and sometimes the soap operas did have like sometimes there were cameos by supermodels, like random things.
Very true.
Not that you would know about that.
No, not at all. So it's like, oh yeah, this guy was a supreme douchebag on One Life to Live for a good year. I was like, that's where I know him from. No one else would probably know him for much of anything else. But I was like, oh yeah, early aughts, One Life to Live. I remember this guy.
They bring TJ in, and we basically learned that TJ was staying home because he's got to sort out some stuff from the IRS. He's been getting paid under the table this whole time, and so he's been trying to like sort that out, which only gets Buzz to think because Buzz again has 3 motives, right?
It's 2: sex or money.
Sex or money, and this is like sex and money in a way because he's gonna posit that TJ killed his wife for her life insurance policy, basically, or for her money to solve his tax issues. So, excuse me, they're gonna look at the computer to see, just to make sure that he was on the computer all night.
Well, yeah, we kind of get to TJ because Tiff does the ultimate, like,
oh yeah.
Bonehead move if you are a murder suspect, especially if Elsbeth is around. She overplayed her hand because she came into police offices like, hey guys, so I know
you're something to tell you.
Yeah, I have some important, pertinent information for you to point the finger at someone that's not me. So she basically like tells Elsbeth and Buzz like, yeah, TJ and Madison were like really get into it. He was abusing her. That's what she came to my bar about, was to tell me about her issues with TJ, and I was just coming there to support her. That's why I was there. So I definitely didn't murder her, and TJ definitely murdered her. Like I will say, the murder was definitely TJ. Definitely was not me. Right. It was definitely TJ, which is like what prompts them to do this. And also, we found the glass with TJ's book on it in the trash that we know that Tiff planted. So all of this now is pointing all to TJ. It's like, okay, yeah, we got Tiff's story, we got TJ's prints, and of course Elsbeth is like, I don't know, this all seems a little too convenient. You know what I mean? Like, this all just seems a little too easy to explain away.
Well, and again, it was like TJ was around, but there's nothing that shows that TJ actually took steps or did anything. Like, there's no motive from his perspective.
So and Elsbeth like points out a great thing. She's like, all right, if TJ did this is like a premeditated murder, don't you think he would have come up with a better alibi than I was in the same house just chilling? It's like that. None of that makes sense. I think Elsbeth also is very good at like because at the scene of the crime, right, when TJ was so distraught, it felt like Elsbeth really like felt his emotion as genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think that's probably a lot of what Elsbeth is good at, is reading people in that way. Like Elsbeth, oh my god, Elsbeth would kill on Survivor. Like to rant a little bit about like the current state of Survivor and all these people that have like pretend like they are such good people at reading people, when it's just like it's just obvious that this would be the thing that's happening.
Work as a spy. It's basically like this. Like, I work as a spy. Next episode, spy voted out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, like y'all not as good as y'all think you are. Like, calm down. So but Elsbeth would kill it because Elsbeth has great reads. She knows when people are lying to her. She knows when emotions are genuine. So like that's really a superpower of Elsbeth. So I don't think she never liked TJ for the murder in the first place. And now Tiff is here spinning this yarn, spinning this tale, and Elsbeth's like, I think this is real. Elsbeth's really like, okay, so it was Tiff, and I gotta figure out how to prove it was Tiff.
Yeah, I mean, like Tiff is making it a little bit more obvious here than TJ is. And also in TJ's like interrogation, we learn about the injury to Tiff that makes her wear her eye patch this entire time. And again, I would have loved to have seen like a dramatic reenactment of this, because I think it would, one, help explain how it happened, but two, the fact that it was caused, like a scar was caused by a jewel pieces of UCD is something that would have been fun to see.
Yeah, because like, you know, as we're interrogating TJ, we're like, all right, Teach, like why would Tiff, because he like, oh, Tiff is pointing the finger at me. That's probably because she figured out something about something. They're like, all right, TJ, what are you trying to say here? And so they get him to admit, because apparently the statute of limitations is over, so he can freely admit that he was the one that attacked Tiff and caused her injury to her eye. Because, and the way they explained this was so weird, because it's like, oh yeah, because they bring up the Nancy Reagan, Tanya Harding thing, and that was
not Nancy Kerrigan.
What
not Nancy Reagan.
Did I say Nancy Reagan?
You sure did. I was like, funny. Wow, that would have been something like that. Do you remember Celebrity Deathmatch?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Would have been a good one.
Yes. Sorry, Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding beef and all that happened there. So I think that TJ saying that gave him the inspiration for this, because Tiff got a modeling job that Madison in their minds should have gotten. So TJ wanted to attack Tiff to make sure she was not in any condition to do the modeling shoot. So we go to Madison. So he had this idea. Let's attack her. I don't want to like hurt her so bad, but just enough not to have her do the shoot. And something messed up. She fell on her Discman, which caused the Jewel CD to cut her in the eye.
Okay, so Discman was a portable CD player. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you put it in, and if you dropped it, it would pop open.
Right.
But I have not, I did never experienced the CD actually being ejected at a force that would be some sort of lethal sort of situation.
It doesn't pop out like a projectile. It just kind of goes, and it like pops out.
Or then like a flop. Usually there would be like a flop, and then you'd be like, oh my god, is it scratched? Because if it's scratched, it's over.
Right. It's done. We're done. You just wasted $29.99 on this CD, and you're out of your money. Unless you can go to GameStop and get it buffed out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Those were the times. Those were good.
I mean, listen, we had to do a lot to preserve our music back in the day. Okay, you couldn't just hit like re-download something. You just had to take extraordinary steps.
You had to pirate it. Not that I condone that, or like even before. Yeah, and before that, you had to wait for the song to be on the radio and then press play and record at the same exact time.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
the days. But yeah, so the physics of this made no sense to me. I was like, wait, so how? And I mean, CDs are not very they're not super sharp. They're like rounded.
I think did it break? Because if it broke, then yes. Like if it broke and then that like force caused the projectile to go. I mean, a broken CD does have like
they're sharp. They're sharp.
Sharp edges. Yeah.
Kings, I'm gonna need you to reenact this for me. I need to get like one of those Japanese reenactments for me to see what happened.
This would have been like also in the 90s, dramatic reenactments were so popular. So it would have been so funny to see that incorporated into this episode.
But you know what else I'd love to see though? I would love to see what's under Tiff's iPad.
Yes, especially
So
now.
Yeah, because I would have loved for it to be like super superficial, but because Tiff and all that modeling world sees like any superficial like blemish on your face to be like horrific and the most like terrible thing that can happen. Like I just love for Tiff to be walking around with the eye patch on, and she lifts the eye patch, and it's just like a mild little scrape, like kind of what Marissa has on her
This
forehead.
is like, yeah. P.S. By the way, wear your sunscreen because. But also, if this were the '90s, I would be like applying so much cover up, like on top of this thing, and like, or walking around with my hand on my forehead, being like, "Hi, how's it going?" Or wearing a hat, like. But we've come so far. Like the bar was like literally below the ground, but we've come so far that I can walk around with the surgery scar in my head.
The DGAF has come so far. The don't give
and
a F.
and also the like
Beauty
Zoom
standards.
filters.
And filters, yes. So I would have like loved to be like, okay, I'm gonna show my devastating injury to you all. She like flips it up and just like, oh, that's it. Like I think that would have been an interesting part of the story, because I'm not seeing the physics of what they're saying happened here, where she fell on the discman. The discman popped out the CD and it cut her in the face. Bad enough for her to wear an eye patch. So we pretty much now have the motive for
we do.
Tiff. It's a revenge motive. She wants revenge for getting cut. Yeah.
Yes. Although, that's the third thing, right? For Buzz, like it's revenge, sex, or money, right?
I thought it was just sex or money.
Oh, maybe either way.
I thought
it was about revenge.
People only commit crimes for two things: sex or money.
Well, Buzz is skeptical, even though things are pointing towards Tiff, and Grace points out
no one's like, Elsbeth, I think you're probably right. You've been right like 1,000 other times. You're probably right about this. No one can give Elsbeth the credit she deserves. No one can give her the credibility of her opinion. It's like, I don't know, Elsbeth, you've been right the other 2,800 times, but you might be wrong on this one.
Who knows? Let's keep an open mind. Like we don't want to rush to judgment.
You've only taken all of our other detectives to school about how they solve crimes. I think on this one you might be wrong.
They go back to the model house and we see Nadine is there and Tiff is there, and it looks as though Tiff has kind of slipped into Madison's role of mentoring these new models and teaching them how to walk and do all this stuff. We do get a little bit of a throwback here. Elsbeth mentions that she learned how to clomp like a donkey from Nadine, which was funny. They're also questioning like the amount of bennies used in the drink that ended up being involved in Madison's murder. Tiff is like, I had no idea about her habits. Like there's no way. But they are also walking around town before this all happens saying that they're sisters, right? Like they have this close bond. So Elsbeth is also, keeping her eye up for that. And they learn about a secret entrance to the house. I would just like to also mention that this house is probably filled of women under the age of 25. And the name of this entrance is called the Leo Latch for a very specific reason, because Leonardo DiCaprio loves people under 25, which is really hard for me as a 90s girl to really like reconcile. Because I really did have that Romeo and Juliet poster on my wall for so long. Yeah, so long. And like Growing Pains, what he's eating Gilbert Grape, like the fact that is I just am like, just go to therapy, Leo, just end it.
Like, can't you just be a good guy and
please, I need to see something.
Like a douchebag preying on much younger women.
Please
just be cool, man.
During this conversation, we also someone brings up Julian, so they go to see Julian because he coined the term glamazons and also was like around the day of the photo shoot, asking a lot of questions. Julian comes into the precinct and he's like, "Oh my god, Nadine knows who I am. Like this is so great." It would honestly be like if the Kings called us. Like we'd be like, "Oh my god." I mean, I know we talk about them knowing us all the time, but we would like freak out. But TJ apparently started a rumor that got him fired because he said that Madison put out there that Tiff slept with Julian to make her the star of the story because of the like swapped opportunity. And like, but no, did you? He's like, no, I'm gay. Like that didn't happen.
He's like, duh.
What else do we learn during this? He thinks that, you know, Tiff is capable of revenge, and things were tense at the cocktail party. And yeah.
Well, basically so Julian got thrown out by TJ, and Elsbeth was like, so I mean, did he put his drink down when he threw you out? He's like, I don't know, probably. I like how Elsbeth is talking to Wagner. She's like breaking it all down for him, and you know, and she's a bartender. She knows how to mix stuff into other stuff. And Wagner's like, it's a wine spritzer. There's only like 2 ingredients. Like, there has to be a bartender know how to do that. And Wagner talked about the fact that TJ had his first preliminary hearing, and they're setting up to the grand jury, and they could indict. And Elsbeth goes like a ham sandwich. I was like, oh, she said the thing. She said the good wife thing. Oh.
Yes, because if you aren't a fan of The Good Wife or haven't watched The Good Wife or any of that, there are many episodes that refer to the fact that in Chicago they will indict a ham sandwich, because basically they'll indict you for anything. Like that's how it goes, or at least that's how it was. It kind of still is, but which was yay, a callback. Like I was like, oh yay.
It was like a secret word in Pee-wee's Playhouse, like ham sandwich. Oh my gosh, I would freak out. She said a thing connected to the good wife. We'll take any crumb of good wife connection.
Yes. like literally, where the frick is Marissa and when the frick is she?
Right. What's going on? What is happening? Where's Marissa? Where's Kaya? Kaya, by the way, congrats to Cara Patterson, who just had her 3rd child. And I was like, I was like, because I know we had like many like theories about why Kaya's not around, but I don't think that, like, because people are saying like, oh my god, so maybe she'll come back, she was pregnant, that's why they had to write her out. I was like, I think that all that happened before she got pregnant. I think the pregnancy just is kind of like a coincidental thing, but I don't think Kaya's coming back to be a regular anytime. And she was kind of like hiding in her last episode this season, because they were talking about the fact that she surprised everyone on the Elsbeth set that she was pregnant when she came to shoot her scenes for this season.
They had her in a
toll booth,
kiosk thing or whatever, and like the counter was like up to her chin.
Like, when we saw that, I do believe when we saw that, I was like, is she pregnant? Because they're doing a lot to hide her midsection. Because, you know, as a watcher of many sitcoms and many television shows, we are all aware of the tactics used to hide actresses' pregnancies. And I do recall her having like very baggy clothes on in the other scenes she was in that episode.
Speaking of, and also in the Good Pod universe-ish, Carrie Coon was pregnant during the first season of The Gilded Age, and they didn't have any big bags. It wouldn't have been like time appropriate or anything like that.
They wear very tight-fitting clothes on the Gilded Age.
But they also they used costume design to put like emphasis in different areas, and then also because in The Gilded Age there was the bustle, like the butt or a little bit bigger than everything else, so it kind of like balanced out. But like this whole time I was like,
just bring the bustle a little closer to her chest so we can hide the belly.
She walked around pregnant in all those dresses. So they have come a long way from, someone has a bag full of nothing that they need to carry in front of them at all times. That's my biggest pet peeve. It's like there's nothing in these bags. Like
we're moving. We gotta put a box in front of my torso,
and I'll have a whole monologue holding this box.
Yeah. So congrats to Cara Patterson on the birth of her 3rd child. But no, I do not think that is the catalyst for her being written off the show. I do not think she's going to be back on the show in a full-time capacity any longer. But we are still waiting to figure out if Kaya is alive. Is Kaya in danger? They really left that hanging out there, because it's been what, 4 or 5 episodes it feels like since we saw that reveal of like, oh my god, she's not answering her phone. Is she okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Elsbeth and Buzz go to question Tiff at this point in our story, and they talk about the rivalry between the two of them. And it was intense. And Elsbeth talks about the attack, and they basically get Tiff to say, "Yeah, I kind kind of did want revenge, okay? But it didn't get me anywhere. So that's why I came back to New York, because my spirit was broken and I just want to be like a mentor for the new era, and I want to heal, and I just want to make everything better. But
I did love Tiff in this moment being like, okay, this man, like, you now know this man is a violent man, yet you're still here questioning me. Like, you have nothing on me, so why are you questioning me and not going after this guy who we know is a violent offender? I was like, oh, points.
Asks what every person should ask in any conversation with a cop. Do you have anything to hold me or not? Like, am I here or not? And so I think, even though sometimes it can be like annoying because Elsbeth is like right and the case is pretty much solved halfway through the thing, I am enjoying the police interaction education that sometimes comes through a lot of this. So we're going to talk a little bit about where Elsbeth sees Ivy, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But Elsbeth sees Ivy, who Ivy was connected to the Joe case, which I think was the mixologist, right?
He was a mixologist. I think it was kind of a takeoff of the show You.
I think so too. Yes. And it had the guy from Succession in it, but I forget his name. But yes.
Yeah. But I'm like, me scratching my head because I'm like, okay, Nadine is one thing. A Nadine cameo, we love that because that character really left a mark on the show.
And but she's like friends with Elsbeth, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
She's been around. She's like a known actress in the real world. So we know her when we see her. But Ivy from Joe's Bar, I was like, am I supposed to remember really anything about Ivy? I can't even remember if Ivy was the eye of Joe's affection. Was that the character? I can't remember if that was the character or was she just another rent. Like, she was who Joe was pining after. I think Joe killed her boyfriend or someone that was trying to be her boyfriend and he thought was hassling her or something.
I don't even remember. We were talking about storylines we don't remember before.
Yes, or other shows. I remember Joe was in prison with Elsbeth. I remember that.
Yes. Yes.
But the exact like story beats of the Joe episode kind of elude me. But the fact that Elsbeth was like, oh my God, it's Ivy from Joe's Bar. Everyone remember? I'm like, no,
nobody remembers.
Don't. So it was. I love a good callback. Don't get me wrong. I am a callback king. Freaking love it. But when it's such a unique callback where I have to like really rack my brain,
obscure is a great word. Obscure.
Yeah, so I have to rack my brain, be like, who is this person? At that point, I feel like it could be anyone at the bar where Elsbeth sees them taking off the foil of the champagne bottle. It could have been any old person. And she would be like, oh my God, you do that? And which is what gives Elsbeth her idea of the episode, because she sees Ivy taking off the foil off of the wine spritzer, which we did see Tiff do when she was preparing to murder Madison.
Yes. And we basically, Elsbeth takes this again. She has to, like, this entire episode, Wagner's like, good theory, but find your proof, find your proof. Yeah. And the proof here is that there's a thumbprint from Tiff on the foil that she left in the apron when she pulled off the foil of the wine that she used to mix with the benzos to kill Madison, basically.
Yeah. So
the
conversation was very mild.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It wasn't like there was not a big like to do or anything like that. But we do leave the model house with Elsbeth telling Nadine to take over the house.
She tells the girls to because when we get there, Tiff has gone into her Nick Fury bag and is getting ready to manage the sheroes. Yes. Interesting that we are doing the Avengers parallel and they are called sheroes. But yeah, she's getting ready to take over. She's left her bar life in Pennsylvania behind, and she's now going to manage the sheroes. And the girls, once Tiff is arrested, they're like, "What are we going to do now?" And I was like, "You know who you should call is Nadine."
Well, and I love this because if Nadine has been on the show so many times, I have a feeling there will be like sheroes assemble type of moment where it's like some sort of thing.
You need help? My sheroes can answer the call.
Yeah. Elsbeth called and she needs this, so kind of like expanding her team a little bit. But
yeah, and I also like that Elsbeth is now getting more and more confessions where it's like, you know you did it, so why did you do it? So now we can't even like, because I've said my big pet peeve is that all this evidence is kind of circumstantial and could probably be thrown out in court. But now that we have like full confessions from these people, it would be kind of hard to get out of that.
Yes.
So yeah, Tiff basically says, they messed up my life, I messed up their life, blah, blah, whatever. So Tiff is, case is closed, Tiff is arrested, and can't wait to see Nadine and the sheroes.
Yes,
back up
please. I would love that. Love that to happen. We did have one other storyline happening in this episode, and that had to do with Grace finally making it on the stage. We had seen her calling some people saying like, hey, we need, to fill the club so that I'll get invited back. And Buzz was kind of like, why aren't we being invited? So he tells Wagner and Elsbeth, and they decide to go to Grace's show kind of unannounced. What did you think of Grace's set here, where she talks about being a cop, kind of talks about Wagner, talks about Buzz, and then also admits later that she didn't tell any jokes about Elsbeth because what the heck is a consent decree lawyer?
I thought that was hilarious. But if you're going to have a character do stand-up comedy, I think you should actually hire comedy writers that write stand-up to give her good stand-up jokes, because this was not good. Tangent alert, here we go. I've been seeing these JCPenney commercials with Shaq, and Shaq is like introducing a stand-up comedian to do like a joke or two on this JCPenney commercial. I want to hear from people if they've also seen this, and I do believe it's a real comedian, but the joke was so bad and so like awful. Like, my thought was, did they hire this comedian to say a bad joke on this commercial? Because it makes no sense. Something about a diamond. It was bad. I want to hear if anyone else heard this, and it is real bad. If I find it online, I'll post it to you, Marissa.
Yeah, let me know, because they took all the JCPenney's away from me when Ellen was in charge of JCPenney commercials, and so I
Shaq's there now.
Yeah,
Shaq
okay, that's good.
Shaq saved Papa John's. Now Shaq's gonna save JCPenney.
I'm here for it. And Epson printers also.
Yeah. Shaq saved Reebok as well, I think, is his other thing. But anyway, but the jokes were real bad.
And I wonder, like, I understand she's a beginning comedian, but even like the structure of the like, it was like if I went to go tell stand-up comedy, like it was not good.
Yeah.
And
it was hacky. It was just like, it wasn't funny. I was like, if you're gonna have Grace do this as her side hustle, like, she should be good at it, and it wasn't good. But I think if you ask the Elsbeth writers, they'd be like, no, we gave her good stuff to say. What do you mean? It wasn't, guys. It wasn't.
And it's like, you know people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they don't know people that they could have asked. But we'll see. Maybe her jokes, because she was asked back after all of this, maybe her jokes will improve, and maybe we'll see some things.
But I think what we're supposed to imply is that those jokes are really good. And I was like, no.
Yeah, no, because we hear the title card that comes up, the boom boom in
enough,
here.
Enough with the title cards. I'm done. Like, it's funny when it's done every few episodes, and it's like a good like thing. But we need to stop. We cannot do it every episode now.
And like, no, I agree with you. And they either have to be informative or funny. Like this one was 8 solid laughs and 2 groans later. And I was like, I don't believe, because of the jokes that were told, I don't believe there were 8 solid laughs. You know what I mean? We're
supposed to imply those jokes were good.
I know. Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying. It didn't work.
There were 8 solid laughs.
Yeah, it did not.
For us, it'd be like 10 groans. Okay.
It would be,
not 10 groans, not 8 laughs and 2 groans. 10 groans for us.
I would probably throw in a sympathy. Ha ha ha.
Oh, you definitely would, Marissa. You would laugh at every single joke, but in your head, you'd be like, "Oh, that's terrible."
Yeah,
like you do for mine on this show. You would politely laugh like you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then go,
no, that was real.
He's so annoying. That's probably what you're thinking in your head.
No, I will tell you. I mean, my sister sometimes writes jokes for her band concerts, and she'll tell them to me beforehand, and I'm like, that is not funny.
What's
and then
sister?
What?
That's your sister.
No, I know, but I know. But then she tells them at the thing, and she doesn't wait for the timing, and so then I just go, ha 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 ha.
And you're the only one.
Yes, exactly.
Echo in the audience, like,
yes. So like, I'm a very supportive audience member, but I will tell you the truth if you ask me straight up.
Yeah, and Elsbeth is bummed that no one told any jokes, that Grace didn't tell jokes about her.
Yeah,
During the session.
yeah, which I think goes back to her like feeling included and everything. But we also get this whole conversation, like Wagner is like, it's good to have something outside of work, which is very important. But then this is what blows my mind out of this whole thing. I am to believe that Wagner keeps his trombone in his office. Like,
Yeah.
I am all for, give me Wendell Pierce doing anything pretty much all the time, anything. Like, I would listen to a whole trombone concert of Wendell Pierce. Like, I love it. I was so excited that that was incorporated into this episode. But it would have maybe made more sense if it was at home, because I was like, do you really I have a French horn. I do not carry my French horn with me everywhere I go.
But then Elsbeth couldn't hear him do it.
Sure,
Marissa,
sure.
okay?
I get it. And she did. She was very considerate. She didn't interrupt.
Yeah,
but
it was weird.
yeah.
It was like he's bringing his trombone to the office to serenade the empty squad room. I was like,
oh no. Like, you can play for your fun. Like, it's very therapeutic to play by yourself without listening or without any audience.
Yes, but it's a weird place to do it.
Yes, it is weird.
I mean,
and also, unless he's like part of some sort of community band and he had rehearsal later that night and he had his thing, like, it just didn't make sense. It was very surprising and I enjoyed it, but also it didn't make sense.
Yeah, it just felt like it goes away from like, hey, Wendell, you we're talking about outlets outside of work. You play the trombone, like, let's get you in there, Wendell. Let's do the thing. It's like, so, oh, for real? You want me to play trombone on set? I'll do that for sure. So it was like, okay, it felt kind of forced, but fine, whatever. We love us some Wendell Pierce, so any Wendell Pierce moments we can get, we'll take them.
Literally starved for them. For them.
Yes, but I did love the like we alluded to earlier, where the moment where like Elsa's like, "Why did you tell any jokes about me?" And she goes, "Well, it's kind of hard to explain a consent decree lawyer to the audience." Where it's just like they all might as well have just stopped and turned to the camera and just stared into the camera like, "Haha, get it? We're talking about our show."
Well, I love that Elsbeth responded saying, "Makes sense."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I thought we were done with the consent decree lawyer stuff and we are just gonna call her a consultant, but they just won't let it go. But yeah, I thought it was funny. And I do, again, Buzz and Grace like bond over the Mets, and Elsbeth is again like, oh
yeah.
That's like a great thing. Great. More of just like I wish I had that.
Where's my Kaya? Where's my Kaya? Nadine wouldn't even go inside. She'd only talk to me on the street.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that was pretty much the episode, right? I don't think we missed anything. I think we got everything. Listen, I'm waiting for these B plots to drop and to give us more of the Kaya, the Alec of it all. I'm just waiting.
Do you think we'll get something before the holiday break?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. Do we have an Elsbeth next week?
I think we should have one next week, but maybe not the week after.
Let's do a live check-in on where we are on the Elsbeth schedule. Elsbeth schedule.
Elsbeth. Where are you going? What's your source of truth?
I'm on the AI interview overview right now. I typed in Elsbeth schedule season 3. Let's see. The next new episode of Elsbeth season 3 is A Hard Nut to Crack.
Yes.
Airing on Thursday, December 18th at 10 p.m. This show airs at 10 p.m. Oh.
And then the next one is not until February 26th.
Oh, wow. That is quite a break.
It's quite a jump. And then there is 20 total.
Okay. All right. So listen, you got us next week, and then we're going to be on hiatus on the Elsbeth side, but you can always come over to the Good Wife side.
Make yourself a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Listen to us about the Good Wife.
We have an Elsbeth episode coming up pretty soon.
Well, and she's going to be around for a couple more episodes. So
yeah, we just did an Elsbeth episode. There's gonna be more Elsbeth to come on the Good Wife side. So if you're into Elsbeth and want to see more of her like origins and how she was back in Chicago days, come on over to the Good Wife side, guys.
Yeah,
it's a blast. I promise.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. So Marissa, do you want to tell all the folks where they can find you and what you're up to these days on the interwebs?
Sure. It hasn't changed much, but you can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where you can get links to all of my podcasts that I am on, including this one. If you listen to us, you might want to check us out on YouTube. If you YouTube us, you might want to listen to us on a podcast. Either way, links are there. Also to Whirlwind Podcasts Pretty Little Liar or Previous Little Liars, where I am reviewing Pretty Little Liars One Previously on at a time. Sometimes that one's really hard to get through. And then not the show, but the title of the show. And then I'm watching Star Trek The Next Generation with my aforementioned joke-telling band director sister as we go through Star Trek The Next Generation for the first time over on the USS Sisterhood. Other than that, I'm I guess trying to relax, as they say. Is that like something that people do? I don't know, but winter break is here-ish, so
there you go. Listen, Marissa, I would never tell you to relax or smile or any of that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your awareness.
Yes.
Jason, what's up with you?
Yeah, you can find me as always on the Perfect Match podcast. We are done with season 19 of Married at First Sight. We are in our Patreon bag right now. So if you go to patreon.com/Perfect Match podcast, you can find me and Asia Wells talking about an older season of Married at First Sight, season 10. We're having fun with that season, as it is one of the best seasons of Married at First Sight out there. So if that floats your boat, come on over to Patreon and hear what we're talking about. And until next episode, stay good.